understand what are verb models. Basically, verb models are those words which help us to understand the ability or the possibility or the need of any person or any situation in a way. So first of all, when you say can, now can shows your ability to do something. Now, we can also use could as a polite request, like when you go for your speaking examination, okay, and you want the examiner to repeat whatever he said. So you would say, could you please repeat it again? So that's a polite request. If you say can, that will sound rude. So could is taken as a polite request. Look, should is again something which the person is telling you to do with a stern upper hand, no doubt. But when we try to emphasize something, there we use must. May is an option where you can do something or you can't, if it's your wish, if you don't want to do it. Like if suppose I say, may I borrow your pen? Now this is up to you, whether you want to share your pen with me or not. So there, the choice lies in the hands of the person to whom I am referring to. May is a word where you have an option. That option lies in the hand of the other person to whom you are talking to. That may I borrow your pen? May I come in, sir? But if sir is in a bad mood and sir says, no, you can't come in, please stand outside, then obviously that is his wish because you said may.
Then should and must are like interrelated. Must is something uh, like
Must is compulsory.
so when I say can I come in,
Hmm.
so in that case I'm requesting someone.
No, that is the only problem. Whenever you say, you should never use can I come in. You should always use may I come in. Because then you are seeking somebody's permission. So in order to seek somebody's permission, you are supposed to ask may, not can.
Okay.
So you should always say, may I come in? May I borrow your pen? Because you are asking for somebody's permission. So that is their wish to give it to you or not. Can means that give this to me. So can you understand the possibility, the probability that keeps juggling in case of might, may, and could? So they all have chances of something happening or something which might not happen.
Ma'am, so the could has the highest possibility amongst of might, may, and could, right?
No, no, no. May has the highest possibility.
May has the
Okay?
highest possibility.
May has the highest possibility. May and might and could are at the same level nearly. So this is what happens in case of possibilities. So we have ability, we have advise, we have necessity. Now you have also seen all these words: ought to, should, had better, isn't it? Now you might be wondering, why do we use these words? So basically these three words, they are generally used as an advice. All right. Now when we use them as an advice, so as I told you earlier, that should is a very polite advice given by your mother or somebody who's genuinely concerned about you. Now let's move on to the next one. Here we are going to understand what is the meaning of all these sentences. I have a couple of sentences. Now first of all, we are going to talk about a necessity in the past. So when we talk about a necessity in the past, we can use a sentence like Joe had to cook dinner for the family. Now cooking dinner for the family is a necessity, isn't it? So he had to cook dinner for his family. Now what do these verb models do? Whenever we add had, could, might, may before the verbs, they actually tell us what are the possibilities, the needs, the necessities, the probabilities, what all can happen. So this is the job of a verb model, that they emphasize more on the verb and what can be extracted from it. So here, Joe cooked dinner for the family, but he had to cook the dinner, okay? Although maybe he was not in a mood to cook, but he had to cook it because he had to feed his family, okay? So that is somewhere or the other a necessity, okay? Now, when we talk about an ability in the past, we can say Victor could read when he was 4. So he was able to read when he was just 4 years old. So the way I told you that I can talk in 4 languages, or I could ride a bicycle when I was 4. So we can use could to show our past ability also. Now, repeated action in the past, how we show that? When I was 8, I used to ride my bike home from school with my friends. We would ride, I missed ride here, we would ride 3 miles in about 20 minutes. So, we would ride. So, that shows my ability that within, I used to ride 3 miles. I used to keep cycling for 3 miles within 20 minutes. That shows a repeated action, what used to happen. So when I was 8, I used to ride a bike home. So this is what I used to do. That's my ability. That is my everyday routine as a child. That was, okay? To ride my bike home from school with my friends. We would ride 3 miles in about 20 minutes. So that shows my ability, and also a repeated action of my past is shown in this. That I used to do this. I would ride for such a long time. So used to is something which used to happen every day. I used to do it repeatedly. So this is happening in the past. Now, ability, again, I'm going to talk about the advisability in the past. So, Victor should have taken Spanish instead of German. So, I am talking about an advice in the past. If I say Victor should opt for German instead of Spanish, that means I'm talking about the present scenario. I'm talking in present tense. But when this time has passed and I'm talking in past tense, I would say that Victor should have, taken Spanish instead of German. So this was an advice, or I'm talking about an advice in past tense. Now, when we talk about possibility, certainty, or probability in the past, you can say he must have forgotten about it, or he must have forgotten that he was supposed to come for dinner tonight. He must have forgotten his glasses in the car. He must have forgotten his book in the train. So must is going to talk about a past probability, certainty, or a possibility. So we are talking in the past. Earlier, we use must as a strong advice, isn't it? So if I'm using must in present tense, then it is a strong advice. You must wear your helmet. You must finish your vegetables. You must, go to the temple or to the church every weekend. So that is a strong advice. But when I use must in past tense, then it is more towards a possibility or a certainty. So this is how, the words are just numbered, but they all keep changing. Their meaning keeps changing with the time scenario also. So now let's understand today, when we discuss these verb models, we discuss these words: can, should, ought, could. So when you use these verb models, you are able to express yourself better. You can show more stress in your speech. So this is going to help you in your speaking as well as your writing. So if you have any question, please ask me.
Ma'am, had better is kind of harsh argument, right?
I would say it's an argument. Had better is again a very strong advice. We don't say it's harsh. Harsh will be quite rude. We'll say that it's a strong advice. That you had better not leave your shoes outside. Otherwise, your mother is going to bash you up if you leave your shoes outside. Okay? Had better is always with a repercussion that might befall you. You will be punished for it in a way. You had better not park your car in the no parking zone. So you also know, if you park your car in no parking zone, what is going to happen to you or your car. So had better is a very strong advice. So if you don't listen to it, you might face some repercussions.
Okay.
Anything else? Any confusion?
Ma'am, where we use would?
Okay. We use would in places where we are very sure about something. So would is one model which is 100% confident. This would happen. Um, let's use it in a sentence. I would like to go out for a cup of coffee right now, or I would love to have chocolate. So, would is with very strong certainty, and that is something which is with 100% surety.
We also use would for permissions, is it?
Mm, no, you will use shall. Then you are going to use shall. Shall I help you?
So we can't use like the would you please do this for me?
You can use would. There's no harm in using would over there. But if I say I can use it as a polite request, there's no harm. Or if I say, would you like to study with me? Would you like to share your book with me? So that's again a polite request. Okay.
Hmm.
But when we say that this this movie would do good at the box office, okay, so that means I'm 100% sure about this, that this movie is going to rock the box office. So this is how we can use would. We can use would as a polite request also. Or would you dance with me? Would you like to have a cup of tea with me? Now that is a polite request.
So in
And when
that case,
I
it's
use
not like we are 100% sure. It's you.
no, when you use would in front of someone, would you like to have a cup of tea? Then that is again a polite request. But if you say, I know that this movie would do great at the box office, that means I'm 100% sure that this movie is going to rock the charts.
I
Okay,
know that
so we
you are
can
not
use
studying
would
and
in
you would fail.
yes. If you are not studying, you would fail. So, or you might fail. And if you think that he will fail, 100% that you may fail. Okay,
Then there we can use must also. He must fail.
no, no, no. Must can't be used there. Must is not going to come over there. You must is something which is forced upon you in a way that you have to do this. Like I told you, the example was you must wear a helmet, you must eat your green vegetables. So that is compulsion, that's compulsory for you. Like many times, some people, they have missed on need to. I need to do my homework. So that means that I don't want to do it, but I'm forced to do it because I have to submit my assignment. So I need to sit down for my assignments. I need to write the essays which ma'am has given me for homework and submit them by tomorrow. So you don't want to do it, but you have to do it because of ma'am's pressure. All right. So this is how we use all these verb models. Any other confusion?
Have to and need to, I need to understand.
Okay. Now, if you say have to, when we say need to, okay, just now I explained it to you. Then when we say need to, I need to finish my work before I go off to bed. Although I don't want to do it, but I have to do it because I'm being pressurized by my teacher. So that is one thing which happens in case of need to, okay? That I don't want to do it. I have a lot of pressure on me that I have to. Now, must is a compulsory thing. Need to is something that is again forced upon to you and you have to do it out of your choice. Now, have to. You have to have your food before 7, or you have to tell me what happened with you. So again, have to is something which we can say is, mm, have to is something which is from a speaker's perspective, okay? If suppose I'm a student and I say that I have to complete my homework before this Saturday. So that means that as a student, this is my priority and I have to do this. This is my responsibility. This is my duty that I should do it. So I have to do this. But when we say I need to do this, that means I am not willing to do it, but I'm forced to do this. Again, as a student's perspective only, from a student's perspective, I can say that I don't want to do this, but I have to do this because I am forced to do it. I don't want to do my assignment, but I need to do it because ma'am is on my head. I have to do my assignments because I take it seriously and I think that that is part of my study material. So I should submit it. So again, this is the difference between have to and need to. Is it clear?
Yes.
Need to is by force, by an external force. The force which I implement on my students, that you have to give me your assignment. So I am applying the force that you have to give me the assignment. And from a student's perspective, you say, I need to do this because ma'am is asking me to do that. So you have to is a pressure that I am implementing upon you. And as a student, you need to do it. Although you don't wish to do it, but you have to do it. So I hope this one is clear now.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I have one question. Okay, used to. Now, when we use the word used to, so whenever we say used to, like earlier, we used this kind of a term a lot. So what does used to mean? Used to was again a very polite request or a polite word which was used in case instead of would. Nowadays we use would. Earlier we used used to. In past tense, I
Ma'am, it
used.
also we
Yes.
also use for our ability
Yes,
in
this is what
past.
I was. Yes, I was again coming to this only, Karan. That when I say I
Okay.
used to carry a lot of books to my school when I was a student. So I used to do this thing in my past. This was my habit. I used to eat a lot of chocolates as a child. Now, this is also my ability that as a child, I used to eat a lot of chocolates. So, this is also happening in the past. And you can say that somewhere or the other, we used to, or children used to respect their elders earlier, but now they don't do that much, isn't it? So, that was also a part of your habit. Today, what we discussed was just their utility, why we use this, where we should use should, where you should use ought. This is what we were supposed to understand today, their utility. After that, the present, past, and future tense will come into place.